Having an effective and implemented quality and food safety system is key to being prepared for a BRCGS audit. But it is also important to prepare for the audit. The purpose of a BRCGS audit is to objectively assess a site's ability to maintain food safety and quality by evaluating its operational standards against the specific requirements of the relevant BRCGS standard. A BRCGS audit is about demonstrating that food safety is embedded in your daily operations. By focusing on documentation, internal audits, employee training, and proactive compliance, you can approach your audit with confidence and achieve BRCGS certification. A food manufacturer must be prepared to be successful during a BRCGS audit. Here are some methods for preparing for a BRCGS certification audit. First, understand the standard and self-assess. Study the BRCGS Food Safety Standard. Familiarize yourself with the latest version of the standard and its clauses to understand the specific requirements your facility must meet. Conduct internal audits. Perform comprehensive internal audits to identify gaps and areas for improvement, acting as your own worst critic before the auditor arrives. And use the BRCGS self-assessment checklist. Leverage tools like the BRCGS self-assessment checklist to prepare for your audit and ensure all requirements are met. For a complete training on each section of the BRCGS Global Standard for Food Safety, hit the subscribe button now for Food Sure and watch the BRCGS Certification Audit video. Next, organize documentation and records. In preparation for an upcoming audit, organize documentation by clause instead of by department. Consolidate your records, for example cleaning logs, product release documents and training records, to align with the BRCGS clause numbers for rapid retrieval by auditors. Train your team and management. Train all staff. Ensure all employees, not just the QA team, understand food safety protocols and audit expectations. Involve senior management. Make sure senior management is present during the audit's opening and closing meetings to demonstrate commitment to the BRCGS standards. And prepare for auditor questions. Train your team to answer questions from the auditor clearly and confidently, with multiple team members knowing document locations and processes. Practice and verify. Rehearse traceability drills. Practice traceability drills, including the challenging 4-hour requirement, to ensure flawless execution during the audit. Verify written procedures match reality. Conduct mock exercises to test the speed of document retrieval and verify that actual floor conditions align with written procedures. And create an action plan. Develop a prioritized action plan with realistic timelines and schedule follow-up assessments to verify that corrective actions are effective. And lastly, logistics and auditor readiness. Ensure quick auditor access. Be prepared to provide auditors with access to the factory floor within 30 minutes. And provide necessary equipment. Have personal protective equipment, or PPE, like overcoats, hairnets, and appropriate footwear readily available for the auditor. The best preparation for a certification audit is to follow the Global Food Safety Initiative, or GFSI standards every day. One of the best ways to audit prep is to document everything. One of the most common mistakes companies make is assuming that because their facility is well run, they'll automatically pass a BRC audit. That's not how it works. You also must have the proper documentation in place to prove compliance. As the old adage goes, if it's not written down, it didn't happen. Proper documentation is one of the most effective ways to increase your chances of passing a BRCGS audit. Ensure every aspect of your food safety management system is documented and accessible. If there are gaps in documentation, close them before your audit. Conduct an internal BRCGS audit and be your own worst critic. Be sure to conduct a rigorous internal audit as part of your preparation. Mimic the real process and be thorough. Your goal isn't to check a few boxes and call it a day, it is to find and fix gaps before the formal audit. Here are some steps to take when approaching your internal BRC audit. Walk the facility as if you were the auditor. Check documentation and observe operations in real time. Are written procedures actually being followed? Test your documentation. Are logs, monitoring records, and corrective action reports complete and up to date? Ask employees food safety questions. Can they confidently explain their role in food safety? If not, training gaps need to be addressed. Look for trends in your data. If you're monitoring metal detection or sanitation effectiveness, can you show trending data that proves consistent performance? Develop procedures to show compliance with fundamental clauses. When your internal audit reveals a gap, be happy because now you can address it before your real audit. In some cases, you may need to develop or revise SOPs to show compliance with the standard. For example, a facility may install metal detectors and test them daily, but if there's no documented process for verification, it's not BRCGS compliant. Additionally, if metal is detected, what happens next? Many facilities remove the contaminated product but don't have a clear process for analyzing trends. Is it a one-time issue, or is there a pattern? Without proper documentation and analysis, the auditor may view the facility as reactive rather than proactive, which can lead to a nonconformance. This is a perfect example of why good documentation is just as important as good practices. Prepare your team for questions from the auditor. A well-trained team is one of the biggest assets during a BRCGS audit. Auditors will ask employees questions about food safety practices, and their responses matter. Make sure to train your employees for this scenario. Focus on understanding, not memorization. Employees should know why they follow specific procedures, not just repeat scripted answers. Conduct mock auditor interviews. Ask employees the same types of questions an auditor would, like, what do you do if a foreign material is detected? Can you show me the allergen control procedure? How do you document temperature checks? Ensure employees know where to find key records. If an auditor asks for documentation and an employee can't locate it, that raises concerns. If employees feel comfortable discussing food safety, it creates a strong impression of a food safety culture, which is a key area in a BRCGS audit. Verify that written procedures match reality. One of the biggest issues that auditors uncover is a gap between written procedures and actual practice. A facility might have a beautifully written sanitation program, but if employees aren't following it, the documentation is meaningless. Auditors will compare policies to real-world execution, and any inconsistencies can lead to nonconformances. Before your audit, spend time observing operations in action. Are hygiene and sanitation procedures being followed exactly as written? Are critical control points monitored and recorded properly? If a problem occurs, do employees follow the documented corrective action procedures? Schedule a pre-assessment BRC audit. Even if you feel confident in your preparation, a pre-assessment audit can reveal blind spots before the real BRCGS audit. A third-party pre-assessment mimics the official audit and helps identify areas that need improvement. This provides an opportunity to correct minor issues before they count against you. Facilities that schedule pre-assessments typically achieve better results in their BRC audit. FoodSure can conduct BRCGS audit pre-assessments. And final readiness checks before the BRCGS audit. In the last week before your audit, you should be in maintenance mode, not panic mode. Run through a final checklist to ensure everything is in order. Review all required documentation. Is everything complete, accurate, and easily accessible? Perform a traceability test. Can you track an ingredient back to its supplier? Walk the floor one last time. Do hygiene stations, temperature logs, and monitoring documents all reflect real-time compliance? And reassure employees. Remind them that the audit is a review of what they already do every day, not an interrogation. A well-prepared facility should not be scrambling the day before the audit. If last-minute fixes are needed, it suggests deeper food safety issues that should have been addressed earlier. To aid in preparation, it is useful to understand the common nonconformances observed during BRCGS audits. They include site standards, issues with factory cleanliness, hygiene, pest control management, and the maintenance of premises, for example, walls, floors, and ceilings, are frequent findings. Chemical control. Inadequate control over non-food chemicals, including improper labeling, storage, and handling, can lead to contamination. Documentation and training. Deficiencies in documenting procedures, such as cleaning schedules, and a lack of proper staff training are common areas of concern. And traceability and security. Weaknesses in traceability systems and insufficient food defense measures to prevent tampering or unauthorized access are also recurring problems. Though a food manufacturer should prepare for a BRCGS certification audit, the best preparation is to maintain compliance standards all year round. We hope you found this training valuable. Please click the subscribe button to access additional food sure training videos.